Very much welcome tonight here at MoneyWise. This is our basic course, the 10 Steps to Financial Freedom. I'm glad to see you here because I know this will not be in vain. This will produce much fruit in your life. And I really want you to expect something. You know, maybe all of us know some of the stuff or lots of the stuff or whatever, but we can always learn more. And the biggest thing about MoneyWise is that it's not that you come here to learn a lot of theory in principle. Yes, there's lots of theory involved here, but the biggest thing about MoneyWise is there must happen something inside of you. You will see, when we go on, you will see what is the thing that must happen inside of you. We have around about 1,000 people that went through MoneyWise officially in terms of a teaching session, and we've seen, you know, certain people breaking out faster maybe and other. It is because there's something inside of us that needs to happen. It is something that you must make happen, if you can say it like that. You can know all the theory, you can put all the things together, but there's something that must just break through in you, and it is a very particular thing that is not always happening in people's lives, because most of us were raised in maybe in a negative scenario of a sin theology, sin concept, you know, and we're always sinners, we never attain to anything positive and whatever. But the first session is about especially this thing that needs to happen in you, and that is your identity. You must break out of the thing that you cannot attain to anything in life. The biggest problem that you will face in life is that vision that you see in the morning when you comb your own hair and when you look into the mirror. That's your biggest problem. But that's also your biggest key. Because you need to face that person, you need to sort yourself out in terms of that person. What do you think about that person? What do you think that person is here for, and what must he do and whatever? And society and people will attack you and they will be negative about you. You cannot do it, it's impossible, you will not attain to that. You know, you will not become rich, you will not break out financially, you cannot open up a business, and so it will go on. And this feedback in society is very negative. So you have a constant battle in yourself. You know, can I do the thing that is sort of in me, always asking to happen? Okay, maybe I can just ask Johanna to put on the lights at the back of you there, behind the chair. Okay, so the big thing that you need to answer yourself is the whole thing about your identity. And that is the first thing we're going to talk about tonight, is the whole identity thing. Who you really are. Okay, let's go on. The MoneyWise course is not supposed to be only a course in itself. The MoneyWise course is a journey. It's a journey that you walk. It's a what we call it is a lifestyle. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of looking at life. It is a way that you sort out everything in yourself. Very much of MoneyWise is all about what is life all about? What is this life supposed to be? Because money is only a means to an end. The moment you put money as a focus and as something that you put as a purpose, and you run after the money, you will get into trouble, because we're not supposed to run after money. Money is a byproduct of life that must help you to live the life that you must live. So your biggest problem is to find out what is the life that I must live. Because you came to this earth with a purpose and a creative purpose in you. There's a plan, there's a strategy, there's a content, and there's a motivation and everything. But you must find it, and whatever is needed for you to live that creative purpose is already inside of you. It's very important that in MoneyWise we cannot make you rich, because you are as rich as you can ever be in life. You can never be richer than the day of your birth, because everything was already there. And it's also important to understand you cannot be more successful than the day of your birth. You can only experience more of your success. You can get more in control, yes, but everything is there. Life is not a certain point you need to arrive at. Life is a journey where you release what you are. You see, there's not a certain point, you know, that point. Yes, we reach certain points where we've maybe finished a book, we finish a project, we finish a house. Yes, there's certain goals that we reach. But it is not that you need to arrive anywhere in life, because you have arrived by arriving through birth. There's nothing that can be added to your life. Your bank account doesn't make you anything more than what you were at birth. Because at birth, everything were there. You were not just conscious about it. And the journey is to find out who's this person at birth, what is this person sent for, and to start to plan and strategize and live and activate and get skills and everything out of this person to start to live this life. You see, we are so much in a life where we try to reach something in life. You're not here to reach anything. You've reached it. You've reached it by birth. And by birth, you are a success. You know, I've never heard a mother when the baby is born, and say, "Ach man, oh, it's a beautiful child, but actually this is a useless piece of, human being, this thing can only cry and ooh and whatever, That mother will nearly kill you when you say something like that. You say, but this thing cannot even drive a car, man, Say, no, listen, everything is here. This is my baby, this is everything, and everything is in here. And as time goes by and the child gets knowledge of himself and gets skill and activates some stuff, he can live in everything. The only problem is, when a child gets 12 and more and whatever, we start to hear, you cannot live it, Then life starts to tell you everything that the mother believes is possible. And then life tells you the opposite, and we tend to believe the people in life more than the mother. I remember what Martin Luther said. He said, there's no one, the devil is not strong enough to take a child out of the hands of a mother that believes in her children. Because that's the biggest belief you will find on earth, is a mother that's believing in a child that's been birthed. Why? Because she's got all the right to believe in that child. You see, we just leave the mother, my ma weet nou nie so goed nie, net so. But you can maybe listen to your mother, she's not exaggerating. She knows, because she believes what she knows is really inside of you. Okay, so MoneyWise is a lifestyle. It's a life where we live a life and where everything is about value, because money is about value. And everything in life is about values. Everything in this room has got a certain value. And in life we need to find the value in life. What is valuable? Because show me your bank account and I will tell you what is valuable for you in your life. Because you will spend your money on what is valuable for you. You see, this is not a right and a wrong or anything. It is just the facts of life. You will spend your money where you believe the value in life is. Money will show me where is your worship. Because you will spend it where you believe that's the thing I like. I spend my time there. I give myself for it. And it's not in essence, hear me, don't listen with ears of right and wrong or whatever. That's just life. Show me your bank account and I'll show you what is your values in life. Real values. You can talk one thing, but where is your real values in life? Every person in life has got a right to live financially free. Every person can live financially free. And I know we will come to the definition of what is financial freedom, but every person can be financially provided, can be financially in a situation where you build up momentum, where you get to financial freedom. And then there's another point of financial wealth. That is something else that we will just mention, but in later courses we will get there. But the point is that if you do not have the foundations of what we're talking about in this course, you will not get to all the other stuff. I will tell you, the financial thing is one of the most, what's the real word, it's a fascinating story, the financial world. People do not always have good memories of the financial world because we do not have enough money, and we're fighting, and it's a world where people fight and dominate and whatever, but actually money is something from God. We will come to that. Money, there's nothing evil to money. I've been raised with something like, especially in the church world, if someone is a bit too rich, he's become stinking rich, he becomes some sort of an evil person, because he's got too much money. Now, since when is too much money evil, Because there's no evil in money. Money is not the problem. The problem is you and me. And therefore, as we've said, your biggest challenge in life will not only be to identify yourself and to come to know yourself, but to understand that the biggest key in releasing money is for you to get developed in who you are. The financial problem is not a money problem, it is a personal problem. Therefore, the first more or less half of this course, we will talk about the problems that you experience in yourself that will keep you poor in life. People, there's something more wrong in life than finances. Because the world outside of here is not in lack of money. There is enough money on the outside. And let me tell you, another million coming to you will not harm the world on the outside. But why is the million not coming to you? That's the big question. Because the million is not feeling safe at you. Because money is alive. And money knows what's happening in your life. And money knows if it will prosper in your hands, or it will disappear, or it will be spent, or it will just fly away. Therefore, the biggest problem is not to get the million. The biggest problem is to create an atmosphere wherein the million will be safe. Because if you give, they say, the people that get a lotto, 97% of them lose that money in the first 3 years of their life. And the reason for that is that if you can handle a million, you will have the million, because the million will come to you some way or another. The problem is not the million. We always say, if my ship will just come, and the millions and whatever. There's enough ships on the, in the harbor. The problem is your ship doesn't arrive because your ship doesn't want maybe to arrive. Because what is that million going to happen to if that million arrives in your hands? Will it become more? And the Bible says that our responsibility is to make it more, to make it exponentially more. Can I give you 100 and you make it for me 1,000? Can I give you nothing and you make it for me 1,000? Because that's wealth creation. You need to get at a point where you do not make money with money, you make money with nothing. Because you are money yourself. You've got ideas, you've got plans, you've got whatever. You don't need necessarily money to make money. As Robert Kiyosaki has said, you don't invest with money, you invest with your mind. You invest with a capacity and a skill capacity that you develop. At the end of the day, you don't make money with money, you make money out of yourself. But then again, we are at the problem. Who are you? What form of money is in you? How can you get the money out of you? The problem is not the amount of money. The problem is to get the money out of you. So that's the good news. The bad news is we must get it out of you. The money wants to manifest itself. It wants to get into this world. But there needs to be a pathway for this money to manifest itself. Every person on earth can be financially free. Poverty is a mindset. It is a thinking. It is not a lack of money. You don't solve a lack of money with money. You solve a lack of money with another mindset. Because if you stay in a shack, it is because you've got a shack thinking. And I can give you any amount of money, you will still stay in the shack. And I can put you in this house and 3 years later it will look like a shack. Why? Because the shack is inside of you. It's not outside of you, it's inside of you. You need to get another mentality in life. You need to get another thinking. Number one, about yourself. Because if you are pleased that you deserve to stay in a shack, that's where you will stay. If you come to the point where you believe that you don't deserve to stay in a shack, because that's not your birthright, and I don't believe it is any person's right to stay in a shack. I don't believe that's decent living. But you need to get to the point that you believe it is not the right place to stay. And at that point you can leave the shack. But before that point you can't leave the shack. You will always go back to it. Why? Because you've got the shack thinking in you. You've got the poverty thinking in you. And let me tell you people, poverty is nothing else than sin consciousness. And we've been breeding sin consciousness in the church. That's why you need to come for another course to sort out the sin thing, because we're not sorting out here. The mystery course is, we're dealing with that stuff. But the sin theology is the biggest place where we have produced poverty in people's lives. Because you are a sinner and a sinner and a sinner. You worth nothing, you're depraved and whatever, yes. We can talk about it, but then Jesus came and even people accept Christ and then they're still a sinner saved by grace. But you get never rid of the sinner thing. And then you look at your own life and you say to yourself, I'm a sinner, you know, and you fight with sin and you never get over it. And guess what? Let me tell you the truth about it. When God look at your life and you battle with sin and you lose, He's not disappointed for one moment. Why? Because He haven't made you to fight sin. You will lose always when you fight sin. And even God will say, okay, that's logical, that's fine. I'm not disappointed because I haven't made you to conquer sin. You cannot conquer sin. So God is not even disappointed with you when you don't conquer sin. Because you cannot conquer sin. You were made a bride for His Son. You were not made a fighter and an angel to fight the evil and the whatever. You cannot fight the evil. You just need to run to your bridegroom and He will sort the problem out for you. You were never supposed to do it. The Bible says, submit to God, resist the devil and he will flee. Submit to God means run to God. You know, just tell Him about it and He will sort it out. Because you're the bride. That's the nicest thing in life, you know, is to be a bride. You just run to the bridegroom and you say, there's no food in the home, it's your problem. You know, we've got a problem, the bank manager phoned, it's your problem. Because all the problems in the house is the man's problem, Bartel. Unfortunately. Oh, well, fortunately according to God. That's the right way it was designed. You see, but we've what is the word? We've cultivated this poverty thing in the world. That's why more than 50% people in this world live on 20 rand a day. More than 50%, and it's just growing and growing and growing. The statistics is not very good at the end of the day. Let's be sure that in MoneyWise we don't want to advise you what to do, because I cannot advise you what to do. I can just tell you what's the consequences of maybe decisions that you want to make or whatever. But you need to decide for yourself what to do and how to do it. We don't advise people. We educate it in how money works, the financial world works. You need to know how the bank system will come to it. You need to know it because the banking system is running us all the way. And you need to know that, and you need to know how to conquer that system. In the MoneyWise curriculum, there's other courses, namely investment and trust. That is when you start to make momentum now in life and you start to win the thing. You start to invest because investment is the only way how to make exponential growth. It's very difficult to work yourself rich, if you can say it like that. You can do it, but it's very difficult. You need to get into investment. Then there's wealth creation, how to create money out of nothing. Then there's the formula of success. It's a book that we wrote. That's unfortunately out of printing at the moment. And then there's a final one that's not on there. It is called A Family Legacy. The biggest key to wealth creation and wealth preservation is family. It's the biggest key. Believe it or not, it's the biggest secret I've ever found in studying the money problem, is that family is the biggest key in wealth creation and wealth preservation. It's incredible. I tell you, that is mind-blowing stuff when we get to the family legacy thing. And to see how family is the biggest key. That's why you will always find wealth in families. The Rockefeller family, the Rupert family. You don't find it in businesses. Businesses is cash generators. You don't find wealth in business. You find cash here. But wealth runs in families. There's no other place where wealth can run. And it's interesting that more than half of the 500 best businesses in the world is still owned and run by families. And most of the other is still owned by families but not run by the family. Because family is the biggest key, people. It's the biggest key that God has given us on this earth. Okay, the logo of MoneyWise, just for in the front there. The red is you that's working. You know, we always talk about blood money. You know, when I give you 100 rand, I give you something of my blood, of my time, of my energy. It is just in another form, because I've worked for that 100 rand. Today, doesn't matter how many hours or whatever, but it's a form that I transfer my life into your life. When I give you 100 rand, it is blood money, it is life money. It is just a way to get it out of my system into your system. It's very important, that's why it's red. The gold is the wisdom that you will need, how to live your life and how to get, to live life wisely. And then the circle is there to just show you need to package what you have. You need to package it in such a way that it becomes generational wealth. That the whole family thing becomes evident, and that you must get to a point to understand that it is possible for you to live so successful in one generation that all of the generations after you will be financially free from the day of birth. People, that's incredible to say. Have you ever thought about it, that when a person is born in a financial free family, that all his accounts is paid at the day of birth? He never think about paying accounts any longer in his life. It's paid. The only thing he needs to wonder about is, what am I going to do in this world, and what am I going to deliver or give to people? What is the package that I came to drop? Most people just battle to get all the bills paid at the end of the month. In a financial free family, that's the last thing. You don't worry about it because it is over. What have you thought? Have you ever thought about maybe the wonderful thing to maybe born in a family like that? It's incredible.
Like little Archie.
It's a bit like the paradise, because it is the paradise. It's supposed to be the normal. But the problem is we don't know how to live family from generation to generation, that we flow into each other. Therefore, every person starts from the beginning again, and we never reach the paradise. Because we make it difficult for each one that's coming after us. Okay, but that's some advertisement for wealth creation. Okay, the statistics in South Africa is that 1% people, when they reach the 60, they are financially rich. They don't need to work any longer. They've really got enough. 5% are financially provided, mean that they can live 5 to 10 years on their pension. After that, they've got problems. 16% are still working, 52% are dependent upon the government, and 26% has already died. So it's not good statistics. If I give you the statistics of pension and this stuff, we will get later to. It's not good stuff. The statistics about the debt in our country, and it's crazy, when you see the figures. And the point is that you need to be honest with yourself. Where am I? What do I have? I always tell people, show me, prove to me that you will be able to go on pension and never need to work again. If you can't show it to me now on paper by putting down me the figures, I tell you, you will not be able to do it. The only people that can do it is the people that can show me that. Because they can show it, they know they can live it. All the other people are hoping, we're hoping, but we never know what is the figures. We never know what's going to get out, Can you show me that this is going to happen? So you need to get honest with yourself, but the problem is that the financial problem is a very confronting problem. And because it's so confronting, we tend to not to become very honest with ourselves. But you must become honest with yourself. Because somewhere along the line in your life, that thing is going to hit you. And I tell you, one of the biggest tragedies I've seen is people that retire and then they need to go and live with their children. And nowadays the children don't even have their own homes. So previously you can go and live with your father and mother, they had homes. But you had to live with your children. You don't have money even for your grandchildren to buy them a lollipop. It's not good stuff. It's happening more and more and more. And it is because we hope. No, it is your responsibility to look at your financial situation, to work it out and to sort it out. It is not so difficult, as the problem is that we don't know how. Because I've been talking to financial people and brokers and whatever. There are people that have a 2-week course, and then they come and they want to tell you, you need this, because they want commission. I know one of the biggest broker companies here in Pretoria, and the owner of it says his biggest problem in the company is the brokenness of his brokers. They are all broke. They all come and borrow money from him right through the month because they don't have money, but they're selling financial products. They introduce themselves as financial advisors. Listen, you need to get to the point where you understand that in MoneyWise we say the motto is you are the captain of your own ship. There is no financial advisor on the outside that can really advise you correctly what must happen in your life. They can tell you what is the products on the market, but only you can get the ship to the right place. The ship of your life, the ship of your family. And again, now we are at the big problem. Do you believe in the captain of your ship? Do you trust the captain of your ship? Can you go for advice to the captain of your ship? Because again and again we end up at the same point, is that we need to stand in front of the mirror and ask the question for ourselves, and then we run away because we don't believe in ourselves. But the good news is that God believes in you. That's why you're here. I mean, and if you're a Christian, God is living in you. Do you know why He's living in you? Because you're 100% holy, 100% righteous, and it's the only place that He wants to live and can live, and He trusts you 100% with Him in you. And you stand in front of the mirror and you don't trust yourself. That's the biggest problem you will ever face in life, is to face yourself and start to believe in yourself. Not because you are the big shot and you have made yourself the big shot. What you are is not what you've made yourself. God has made it. But you can be proud about God, what God has made. And He wants you to be proud about it. Because if you don't believe you can attain to anything in life, that is the life you will live. You will attain to nothing. And that's the only thing that's a difference between wealth creators and the rest of the world. You will not talk to a wealth creator that is negative about himself. I've never found such a person. When you sit with a wealth creator, he's extremely positive about life and about himself. And he's not boasting. He said, listen, I came to this world to open up a business. I'm going to give work to 2,000 people. I'm looking after 2,000. They're just positive. They just see opportunities. They just want to live it. And in the process, I've never heard a wealth creator say, I'm going to make money, 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 money. I mean, Bill Gates never planned to make money. He planned to make life better for people on earth. And then the money came in the process itself. Money is there, it will come to you. Find a problem, solve it, believe you can solve it, and the money will be there. But you need to find that problem that you came for. Because you are here and you are still breathing because you need to solve that problem on earth. That's why you're here. And you need to believe that you can solve the problem. Yes, do we have all the answers in day one? No, we don't have all the answers in day one. But the answer is inside. It's in here. And you need to believe that you and the person that's in you and that has made you capable of living this life. And you must become positive about yourself, and you must start celebrating yourself for what you were sent for. It's not about bragging. I'm not in bragging, you know. I'm the man of the hour, of the power. Or what. No, man. Listen, I know what I'm sent for. And therefore I do what I'm sent for. And I know that I'm best at what I'm sent for. Therefore I give you what I have. And if you can do it better, you're welcome to do it. But you must find what is the real you all about. Okay. I always say to people, you know, we started a congregation here in Pretoria, and I always look at the men, you know. The lights are on, they're there, but you don't know what's going on there, you know. They're not here, they're not present. And I started doing a thing, giving them some papers, you know, write me down what's your biggest problem, or problems, or whatever. And in the last more or less 20 years, I've never found a difference. It's always the same. Number one problem with men is finances. Why? Because we are supposed to be the providers. Number two is the sexual stuff, and number three is how does a woman work. That's not so difficult, but it's a real question. But it's an emotional answer. Okay, but the point is that I found that the biggest question with men is money. And you know, that's the thing we don't preach about in church. Because it's not our responsibility to preach about money, but the answer to the financial problem is in the Bible. It is not in the business world. I mean, you know, the moment the power was gone, you see the opportunity of opening up businesses that can sell generators. Here we have that the most of the people in our country is living in poverty. And where is the businesses that tell people how to get out of poverty? You don't find them because the business world cannot solve the problem. The answer is supposed to be in the Bible, because it's not a financial problem, it's not a money problem, it's a personal development problem. You cannot live and handle 1,000 rand if you don't have the skill to handle it. The know-how. What is this all about? About half of our country doesn't even know what's a bank account and how do a bank account work, I mean, we don't know the most basic stuff in this world. Okay, so therefore we're going to solve this problem and solve it once and for all. People, I realized when I was 36, I came to the conclusion that, I couldn't find a shop, everywhere you walk into a shop, they ask you money, you can't even, you can steal the stuff, but if you want to walk out with it legally, you have to pay. And, and the problem is there's not enough money in your pocket. So you either go and give up, or you say, let's solve this problem once and for all. And with 6 children and then coming to high school and going to university, I'm an accident busy looking for a place to happen. So I said to myself, listen, you better solve this problem now once and for all. And especially in the light that it is the #1 problem of men. So it took me 3 years to go and sit down and say to myself, what is going on here in this whole problem? What is this thing all about? We tell people, don't smoke because you are a slave of smoke. Don't be a slave of this and this and this. But people are slaves of money, and we don't tell them. Money is depicting, it's the right word. Every people's program every day. The point of a financial free person is he can stand up tomorrow and he can decide what he wants to do. I mean, doesn't say it's not working, but he's got a decision in his life, he's got back his time and whatever he wants to do. Yes, we don't start there, but somehow you can end there, you can get there. And you can decide that you can get there. Although they tell you can't get there because you're not good enough, in your family and your father and your whatever, But the point is that we can get financially free. We're not supposed to be slaves of sin. We start out with a work and a boss, but listen, you can get financially free. It doesn't matter what your work is, and even you get a salary or not or whatever. You can get to the point where money is no longer telling you what you're going to do tomorrow. Because money is not supposed to rule you. Money is supposed to be a means for you to live the life that's inside of you. So it needs a lot of thinking, change thinking up here. It took me 3 years to reprogram my own thinking about money and say, listen, I've been taught this and this is what the community say, but this is not what God is saying. This is not right. This is slavery. I'm not going to live like this. And we've made our decisions, and every decision that we've made from a deep inner conviction, we're going to do this because we believe this, and this, and this, and this. It ever happened. At the age of 39, we put down for ourselves a 10-year plan for financial freedom, and it took us 12 years to get there. Because we were more busy with people than with the plan. But what's 2 years between you and God? It's not so much. But the point is, you can get there. But it doesn't happen that you end up there. I never in the previous 10 years end up in anything else than just provision every day. Then I started to plan to get out of it. And then we got out of it. And that's the point. Is that it's there, but I had to discover it in me. I had to discover the way for me. I had to initiate the thing. I had to activate the thing. I had to manage the whole thing. Let us be clear to ourselves, people, that the problem in the Garden of Eden was not sin. The problem in the Garden of Eden was mismanagement. Sin was an outflow of mismanagement. And I am against the sin. Hear me clearly. I'm not saying sin is now inferior. The point is that you don't solve sin by fighting sin. You solve sin by management of your time, of who you are and what you need to do, of yourself. How do you look after yourself? In terms of how do you look after your house, your car, maintenance, as we said, your time. Do you study? Do you develop your mind? Do you spend time in self-development? What you're doing at the moment is self-development. You're supposed to do this at least once at 3 months. Do something, go for a weekend or whatever, study something where you develop yourself in an area that you say, I need to know more about this. There's no other way out of it. It's not that you lack, you don't lack, it is just that you can't get it out of yourself. Because you need to activate some form of development in your life to get out of it. The richer people become in this world, the more they spend on themselves in terms of self-development. A guy like Yusaki has got 8 people that's personal trainers in his life. Not in terms of only running, in terms of, okay, you tell me, you keep me up to date about shares, you keep me up to date about the legal stuff in there, and you keep me up to date. You're paying them, they're spending hundreds and thousands. I know a guy here in Johannesburg, he's spending at least 500,000 a year on himself. In self-development. Get to know more how life is working and what's going on. And guess what? They've got millions themselves. That's the outflow. Because the point is, the money is there, but we need to get it out of you. But we can't get it out of you if you don't prioritize the places and the situations where you are developed to the place where you can become the channel for the money to flow out of you. And whatever the potential may be. You just don't stand up one morning and you know everything about electricity or whatever, any subject. You need to study. You need to start doing it. You need to go and learn, download for other people. You need to decide whatever you want to do and do it and go for the best. And you will get there. I tell you, you can make money out of anything in life. It's just up to you if you want to make money out of it. The issue is not to make money. We are all looking for some positions in life, Where can I find a work? Let's see what business can offer me a position. There is not many positions in life, but there's many hard work in life. But you need to find that work. And you need to start to believe in yourself. Not only to find it, to have a salary, to stay alive. No, to find it, to develop myself, to conquer it, and to become something, and to release the something that I am. Because you are the captain of your ship, and if you don't believe in your captain, your ship will end up as nowhere, as whatever. Tell a ship, go out of the harbor and go nowhere. Then where will the ship end up? Nowhere. We will just drift around and maybe get a storm and sink and whatever. You need to get purpose. Can you tell me what is your next step in life? Can you tell me what is your goal for this life? For this year? Where are you going in 5 years, 10 years? What is your goals financially? What's your goals in terms of personal development? What's your goals in terms of your marriage? You've got 7 relationships. 7 relationships in your life. And let's maybe just mention it. Number 1, your relationship with God. Your relationship with yourself. It's the most difficult one. Your relationship with your spouse. Your relationship with your family, an extended family. Your relationship with money. And believers and unbelievers, or what we can say as friends or the community. All depends on how you want to see it. That's your 7 relationships. And your life consists out of that 7 relationships. And the money part has got the potential to help you in those relationships. But then people say to me, like on Facebook, if I had to make a decision between money and happiness, I will choose happiness. I say to people, listen, you but cuckoos, man. Money was given to you and me to make you happy. That's the purpose of money, is to make you happy. Go and live under that tree for 1 week, without a car, without a toilet, without food, without water, without shelter, and we will see how happy you are. Money is supposed to make you happy. That's the point. Listen, you come here tonight, you clothed, you bathed, you've eaten, Where do you get that stuff from? You buy it. That's the normal. That's the godly way. But money cannot satisfy you. That's very important. Your spirit world can only be satisfied by God Himself. But your flesh world is supposed to be looked after by money. Because how do you get a house? You need to buy the house. Otherwise you stay in the shack. And let me tell you, where I'm staying now is much better than where I were. And where I were is much better than a shack, And listen, it's up to you to decide where you want to stay. But you need to make up your mind about yourself. You need to make up your mind, listen, where do I deserve to live? I never had basically, before I was, 39, I had always a salary of about 2,000 rand a month. That's not even worth mentioning it. You know, and we bought a house. We bought several houses without money. Because money is not the key. The Lord said to me, buy houses, so I started to buy houses. With what? With nothing. I do not have money. I just went to the bank and I convinced them that I'm the best people that they can borrow money to, or lend money to. And we start to roll in the process, and I could do the thing. I could produce a plan out of me. But the biggest challenge was, you are a pastor. You cannot do property. You cannot do this. You cannot make money. You cannot invest, because that's the world I was raised in. And I tell them, listen, you go your way, I go my way. I can do it because God told me to do it, therefore I will do it, and I do it successfully. And it worked. But the biggest reason why it worked is because I know that is what I'm supposed to do. That's what God said me to do. I embrace it myself. I start to associate myself with, I start to see myself as that person. I walked out in that, as if I am already there. And guess what? The people in the banks become persuaded by what they see in me. And they start to borrow me money without any salary. You go to a bank and try to get a loan without salary. Try it, I tell you. But you know what? I sold them not the house. I tell them I am the best product that you can invest in. I believe in myself. I know I can do it. I know I will be a good, I'm selling myself because I am the product. The biggest product that you ever need to believe in, whatever you're selling in this world, is that you need to sell yourself. You need to believe you are the best product. And guess what? You are the best product. You are success itself. I mean, God's whole day is captured by looking at you and just celebrating you, and He can't look enough at you for all the potential that's in you and that He placed in you, and the gifts and the talents, and He rejoiced the whole day long and looking for ways to do good unto you. Why do you think about yourself as one that cannot reach anything in life? We are ruled by our own thinking, but the thinking that rules us is not the thinking about Zuma and the government or the politics or the church. The thinking that's ruling you is your thinking about yourself. That's your problem. Stop worrying about all these other people. They will do nothing for you. The government and whoever is not going to do anything for you because they cannot do anything for you. You got everything given from God. You need to stand up and live the life that is in you. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to get myself into chapter 1. But I've said a lot already about chapter 1. So it's our birthright, when we now get to chapter 1, it's our birthright to live in provision, to live in financial freedom. But the biggest thing is that you need to look at yourself and make up your mind about yourself. Because identity is the origin of all our problems. Every problem, you put me a problem on this table, I'll show you back and we'll come to identity. Every problem in life springs out of a lack of identity, no identity or wrong identity. And you will never get out of any problem by not solving, number one, the identity problem. You can patch it, you can discipline yourself, but you need to get at that point where you need to decide, are you the best mother, are you the best wife, are you the best man, are you the best whatever, because you are the best, but you need to answer the question unto yourself. Not that you can do it from day one or whatever, but you need to believe in what God has sent you. It is not positive thinking, think out something positive and start to confess it. No, it's not. It is positive thinking, but it is positive thinking about something God has given me. I haven't thought it out, I mean, I was always bothered by the problem of how's life working, how's things coming together, the whole gospel thing. And I later realized, the reason why I'm bothered about all this stuff is that God is dropping this problem with me. And I'm not maybe the only person that's got the responsibility to sort it out, but this is also my responsibility. So what are you always thinking about? What's bothering you? What problem in life you are very passionate about, you know? It's not by accident. You know, I've got one of my friends phoned me I phoned him one morning. I said to him, you know, I said, please stop this thing that you in ministry and they always pay you and they always, I mean, 3 times you've been dropped now, you know, get some income in your life. He said, you know, I've been dreaming and wondering and being wake up about chickens till 4 o'clock, you know, this morning. I said, my friend, I've never lost 1 minute of sleep about chickens. But you know, there's something in chickens for you. Because if it keeps you awake, you need to do something about it. Because that's not natural. That's not a natural thing for the average person to dream about chickens till 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, you agree with me? So you need to sit down and define for yourself, what do you need to do? It's not about something that's bothering you. Man, God is bothering you. Because you need to do something about it. What? I don't know. You need to ask Him. Maybe you're the next millionaire chicken farmer. Maybe you invent something for chickens farm. Whatever. What must you do? Go and sit and define it for yourself and set up your life and start living it. And money will come out of it. And you will have a ministry also out of it. Because ministry flows out of any business that you have. Because your business is your vehicle that takes you to people where you can speak to people and fellowship with people and reach people. Okay. But we can talk about that later on. Okay, let's see here. The money problem, as you said, is a personal problem. Everything in life starts with you. The bad and the beautiful stuff. It starts with you. It's in you. 1.2, the problem is internal. You see, everything that manifests in your life is only a symptom of a deeper problem. And the deeper problem is called the identity problem. And you will sort of work on this thing maybe for the rest of your life. At least till you are around about 50. I've seen myself coming just after 50, I could say, okay, now I can see the thing is coming really 95, 100% together, if you can say it like that. It is not that you are 25, you've got everything together and whatever. But God always gives you enough to make the next step. He gives you like a car light for the next 100 meters and He said, go the way. And when you make the progress of 100 meters, then you've got another 100 meter of light. Then you maybe change your stuff or you make changes or you add something to your profile of what is my identity and how I'm going to do it. Yes, it's constantly changed. Not that it changes radically, it develops in something bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, I never planned in my life to write any book. Never, never, never. I just bought a computer like anyone else, you know, and we play on the computer and I think, okay, let's type something. So, okay, what are we typing? Well, type something you think about, and we think about the sin problem, and so I start to just type something about the sin problem, and people come to visit us and they say, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm just trying to sort out the computer. Then they say, but let me read this stuff, and they read it and say, this is very good stuff. I say, well, what do you think? I mean, I'm just experimenting with the computer. Then I realized that the stuff I'm writing is maybe for me, average, normal, but for someone else, it's good stuff. They don't know it. So I realized maybe I must write more of this, you know, and at the end of the day, the one book after the one was there, you know. And why? Because I realized that I've got the ability to solve problems in terms of people thinking about life. Why? Because it's the gift from God. So do it and do it well and do it for the people. We've already said that mismanagement is really the problem in the Garden of Eden. It's a wrong way of living and managing ourselves. I think it's self-explanatory. Financial freedom is also a product of a right lifestyle. You know, it's not like we run after finances. We don't run after financial freedom. We don't run after wealth. It's always a byproduct of the life I want to live, of whatever I want to do, because the financial provision is already in you. That's a very important thing, that it is not that we work because we are poor and whatever. We work because the moment you start to work, you get involved with the world, and as you get involved, you start to see, I like this, but I don't like this. You know, then you go more in this way, but I like this, but I don't like this. And so you find in moving, you find out where is your niche. What is the thing that's flowing and what is the thing that's not flowing? And you constantly make adaptations, to go more into the thing time-wise that is your natural flow. And spend less time with the thing that's not your flow and find someone else that can do the books, and I'm not good at doing the books. Or whatever the thing may be. So we need to focus on personal development. Find the thing that where I get exposed to my talents, my personality, my gifts, and creation, purpose, and all these things that is subjects on its own. There is actually, as we've said, the psychology around money. You can tell me how do you think about money, and I will tell you how rich you will die. For sure, I will tell you how rich you will die. Because I've never found a person that talk about negative about money. Money is not the thing, of course is money not the thing. But money is there. I'm not saying give money a place that it needs not to have, but you must give money the place that it must have. And find out that place. And I found out that the people that don't know what is that place the most are the Christians. Because they've got this idea in the Bible that there's something evil to money. Because our definitions are cockeyed, and we will get to that, what is the definitions. Because the moment your definitions is sorted out, you start to see your world, you say, but this is a different world. And you stop living this reactive lifestyle. You cannot prosper in a reactive lifestyle. You must get into a proactive lifestyle. You get something that we can lose your life on, go for it, run for it, do it in such a way that people will believe in it, and believe in you, and start to invest in it and want to be part of it. And money will be part of it. But I've never seen a reactive person becoming rich. Never. It's impossible. Because money will run away from you. It's not safe there. We've got identity on all levels of our life, in terms of I've got identity in my spirit, in my soul, my body, my mind, will, emotions, my talents, my gifts, my career. We've got lots of identity, of which my spirit identity is the most important. But I need to get to know myself in all the other areas of identity. I need to find out the thing that we're going to talk about now, and that's passion. How to get that thing together, and I need to get clarity about who am I. Who am I? People, last night I told people, the Bible was not written for us to solve the who question, the how question. The Bible was written to help you to solve the who question. We all want the how. Listen, any how will not work if you haven't found number one, the who. Who are you? If you don't come with a clarity about who are you, you will have, all your how will become a method and a recipe that's not maybe wrong, but it will start to frustrate you because it will not work. And that's the problem. People stand on stages and say, just do as I do, invest here in Bitcoin and you will become rich. That's the how. Yes, you can get rich through Bitcoin, for sure. No doubt about it. But listen, that's not the most important question. The question is, number one, who are you? Are you supposed to be involved there? Because there's many worlds where you can make money. It's not the only world. But if that's the right world, yes, go there, find out, do it, and do it with all your might. But then people just go and do it. Houses is the way. Then we buy houses and then it makes us bankrupt. Because it is not necessarily the thing. The main thing is, who are you? What is the flow that's in you? Because not all people are property people. Maybe you can buy 2 houses, other people buy 10 houses. What is your capacity? What is your flow? Don't go outside of that. And therefore you need to know yourself very good. You need to know yourself, why? Because in who you are, your mandate is there. Your mandate describes for me the area of your authority. The area where you need to make your study and your knowledge and whatever. You've got a mandate in a certain area. Sometimes I talk to people and they talk to me and I just hear they don't have a mandate in this world. They're just speaking nonsense, You can either fight them, argue with them, or just leave them, as the Bible says. Leave a fool, don't even answer him. Stick to your mandate. What has God said? God says, listen, I give you a mandate in this area. And don't just be spiritual about these things. You can have a mandate in building. You can have a mandate in starting up businesses, in cryptocurrency or whatever. It's mandates, people. I do not have a mandate in cryptocurrency. I know it. And it's not evil. I just know it, you know. So I don't go there and try to show people, you know, I also know. I just tell them I know nothing. Because I know, basically, I just know how blockchain is working, you know. But I don't have a mandate there, you know. And I'm honest enough to acknowledge it. But I'm glad to see people that's really got a mandate in it. And be sure what is your mandate in this world, and your mandate is flowing out of your identity. So you must become very anxious for yourself to find out who you are in this life, because everything flows out of your mandate. People, get out of the place where you are impressed about money. If you are impressed by money, it just tells me you're living in poverty. Because money, you're not supposed to be impressed by money. You must be impressed by who you are. You know, then you meet someone, you know, oh, this guy's got 100 million strong, you know, then you're suddenly motivated, you know, to sort of fellowship with this guy. Listen, his money is impressing you. Listen, do you know how much worth are you? All the riches and assets in this whole world is not enough to buy you out. God had to send His Son to buy you out. You are more of worth than all the assets in this whole world. You alone. So stop being impressed by money. Yes, 100 million is 100 million. It is not 10 million or it's not 1 million. It is a significant amount of money. True. But listen, your identity doesn't lie in your 100 million. And I've never ever found, I've found rich people that boast in their money. But I've never found a wealth creator boasting in their amount of money. Why? Because they know. They know they have a lot, but they know they don't even talk about it. The interesting thing is, every wealth creator that I visited, the moment you sit there and they know you're coming to ask them questions, and then they tell you, listen, if you're going to talk to me about money, you can just as well leave, because I'm not living for money. But do you have a lot of money? Of course I have a lot of money. But I don't live for money. I live for life. I live for relationships. I live for people. I don't live for making money. Every wealth creator I have interviewed has told me this, out of himself, out of his own. Why? Because that's the makeup of a wealth creator. He's not thinking every day money, money, money. He's thinking the world. He's thinking people. 68% of wealth creators has got their own community ministries, investing in people, because that's where the heart is. Investing millions in people. Why? Because that is what life is all about. You're not taking your money with you to heaven or anywhere. Whatever you may believe is after death. So they reinvest. Because that's where they know life is all about. It's people. Okay, so I'm not tonight impressed by your bank account or your salary. I don't mind what is your bank account or your salary. Because I could start to live the life that I'm living today without a salary and with about nothing in a bank account. Because it's not about your salary. Yes, it can help you a lot if you have something in your bank account and salary. For sure, I recommend it. But let me tell you, that is not the thing. The thing is you. You are the riches itself. You need to see that there is something in you that wants to manifest, and it can become money. And yes, when you have the momentum of your father's money or your father's education or exposure or whatever, you know, it can help a lot. But it will not be the success factor in your life. The success factor will be you discovering yourself, making peace with yourself, embracing yourself, and start to sell yourself because you believe in the captain of your ship. And you are not ashamed of that captain, because you know he was sent to this earth. You know, man came to this earth as the most blessed being. Ephesians 1 says that God has blessed us with every spiritual blessing in Christ before the foundation of the world. I mean, what else do you need? God says, if I've given you my son, what else can I give you? Romans 8. Listen, God's intention for you is to be chosen, to be blessed, to prosper, to be something. You know, we all say that we are Christians and we want to bless the world, but you don't have money to do it. You know, we want to bless the world, but we can't buy them food. You know, if you want to buy someone else's food, you need to have at least more money than for your own food. So get more money than what you need. Otherwise, you'll not be able to have an overflow to flow into other people's lives. And people just say, yes, but I'm so thankful, you know, we just got enough, you know, and we're just scraping through by the God's goodness and wow. Listen, this is nonsense. That's not God's talking there. God doesn't want you to have much because you can walk around with your bank account showing it to people. God wants you to have more than enough to share it with other people, to flow into other people's lives. I mean, you want to reach the people in India, but you cannot even buy a ticket to go to India. Or you can't even buy another plate of food for the person next door. I mean, how much easier is it to reach your street if you can walk down the street and you can pass out and buy stuff for people. And you know, I once took my tithe and we baked cakes, you know, and we walked down the street and gave it to all the neighbors in the street. You can't believe it how open people become like. Because it's not normal to receive cakes, you know. But you know, somehow you must have money for it. And that's the only reason why I am in the money business. It's because we want to reach people. That's what else do you want to do with it? I mean, yes, okay, we can go overseas and have a nice trip, you know, but you can just have X amount overseas, nice trips, you know, then it's boring again. And I'm not against it, but the point is, the nicest thing on this earth is that you came to be a blessing for other people. But you need money to be that blessing. And yes, if you really don't have anything, you know, you can at least start to bless them and speak to them. Yes, for sure. But you know, I realize that if I can be myself and I have money, I can be a real blessing. And that's the only motivation behind it, people. And it still doesn't make money the focus. It is just that I sat down and I said, Lord, every year I sat down and I said, what do you want me to do next year? Then we put down the plan. Then I take another paper and I say, to do this, we need this amount of money. So, and then I've got another paper that show me what was my income the previous year. And let me tell you, God will always give you a project that's bigger than your income. Why? He wants you to be dependent upon it. And then you need to find maybe a way to do maybe more business or trust the Lord or whatever. But He will always stretch you into something more. And every year we put it there and then I think to myself, oh my goodness, this is not going to be a very comfortable year. Because more or less every year in our life, the Lord doubles according to the previous year. More or less double every year. But your salary doesn't double. And I don't even have a salary. I mean, that's... You know, but then you start the year with this, you know, oh, we're not going to make it. And you say, shut up, man. Start to live. Do something. Time is running out. It's January. What is the next step? Just do the next step. Don't worry about December. We'll get there. Just do the thing. Because I know, you just start to live and do it and just know we're going to get there. And I sat this afternoon here and I said to myself, I've drawn up the last 6 months of what we need to do to reach what we had to do this year. And we're going to reach it. Yes, and we need a lot of money for it. But you know, I'm in a mode where I no longer worry about the money. Because if you worry about the money, you do nothing. You just start to do what is possible to do. And you just get the ball rolling. And you get the ball rolling and you get at the end of the year and you look back and you look to your bank account and say, my goodness, we've reached it. So after 30 years of being married, or 33 years, you know, I don't anyone luckily worry about it. But every year you start January with this fear in you. But you know, it is not because God wants to make it uncomfortable for you. He wants to stretch you and say, listen, you cannot just live what you lived last year. We want to see some form of, you know, progression. Why? Because this is why you're here. I want to see you blessing more people, reaching more people or whatever. That's why I want it and that's for every one of us. MoneyWise is actually an investment in the captain of your ship. And that's what MoneyWise is all about. You must see it in that light. It's not advice, it's an investment in your life. And you must see it in that light and come to the knowledge of what life is really all about. we've said there in 1.6, there's a life process. It's very important. The first step in everything in life is identity. When you found identity, you have found what is valuable. Then you can find your values. Out of your values, you can find some principles. And then you can obey your principles. And out of that obedience, you get the activation. You get habits, then you get you get character, and at the end of the day, you get a lifestyle. But everything starts with identity. But I can stand here and say, listen, Rian, it's a good principle to have a budget. Yes, it is. But listen, then we start with the principle. We need to start with identity. And say, listen, this is what is in your life. You know, we're not here to teach you only a lot of principles and it becomes a disciplinary thing to, to put all this stuff together. It must become a flow out of your heart. Therefore, we must start at identity and say, listen, let's look at who you are. The moment you get an appreciation for who you are, you say, wow, man, I can live this. But to live this, I need what is a begroting?
Budget.
A budget, I need a budget. So now I do the budget because I want to do the budget. Because it is a flow of life that I need to manage. It is a flow of money and whatever. And it's no longer, oh man, you need to do a budget. At the end of the month, you need to do a budget. A budget is not a nice thing to do, to be quite honest. Because a budget always is in the red. And it is supposed to be in the red. Yeah, we'll get to that. That's why people run away from budgets, because it's a red thing. But there's a reason behind it. But the reason is that there is something that there's someone that God wants to mobilize. It's you. He wants to bring Himself through you into the world. And therefore you need to get excited about it. Because it's about you. Not because, you are the everything. God's behind every one of us. Okay, so our process of change must always start with identity. Now, the moment you see your value, you want to live a valuable life. You can preach to people in the squatter camp, don't live like this, don't live like this. They will keep on living like that. But the moment they realize their value, they don't want to live that life any longer. The real problem on earth is lack of knowledge, lack of responsibility, lack of management, lack of discipline, lack of skill, and lack of identity. And we need to solve that thing. And that is not the final word on identity tonight, what I'm telling you now. But we've got the whole course only on identity itself. But you need to take up the identity thing very, very serious. Because when you fall into some trouble, I'll tell you it's because you need to go back and just sort out something of your identity. And just maybe reaffirm it and then come back and say, listen, I'm called for this. I don't mind how many times I fall, I'm called for this, I'm going to do this. I don't mind how many times I'm going to do it over. I will do it till it is a success. I'm not busy experimenting. I am not an experiment. If God says this is your life, then you're not living an experiment. Yes, the only way forward is failing forward. That's sure. But we're going to go forward till we live that life. And we don't accommodate any permanent failure in our lives. Out. Finish. Because we are the success. And we are God's success. And God knows that we will have failure in terms of activation and getting to the place of skill. Yes, we will have problems. Maybe we can just say it here while we are so far over the time. But the key ingredient of success is knowledge, skill plus activation. Knowledge, skill plus activation. Whatever you want to do, if you want to become an electrician, you need to have knowledge about electricity. Then you need to start to work with an electrician and start to see how we implement these things till you have the skill to do it. And then maybe you have to you've already activated some stuff, but maybe then you can activate your own business because you've been through the process. But it's like a circle, it never stops. Then you get, okay, I know now house electricity, but what about factory electricity? Then it's again knowledge, skill, activation. But in South Africa we get pension money, then we open up a business, but we know nothing about the business, but we think opening up a business will be a success in itself. No, you need knowledge, skill and activation, because you are the business. The business is not the business, you are the business. You produce the knowledge, you produce the skill, you are the person. The client is buying you, he's not buying your product. He's buying your confidence in your product. And if you are not confident in your product, I will tell you it's because you are not confident in yourself. That's our biggest problem. We are not confident. We're hesitant about ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. We're just trying to sell something to make a few bucks, to stay alive or whatever. No, it's not working that way. You need to get to the point where you are totally persuaded about life, about yourself, where you're going, what you're doing, and know what is your mandate, and you sell yourself in that way, because you may sell yourself. Okay, thank you very much.